I am so excited to see you. I have been in a whopping of a day. I've got 2 more days to go inside this event that truly transforms my business, which transforms my mindset, which, of course, transforms my life. My name is Suzanne Castle. I'm the creator of the Brilliant Collab and the Sparkle Factor. And I today want to just pop on super quick and talk about 3 hacks that you can do inside your brain to help you have more happiness. And when you have more happiness, let's face it, you are a more productive human. And I know that these COVID pandemic days have made us seem a little unproductive. Sometimes we might seem lazy, or some of us may just be overwhelmed. A lot of us are doing way too many things, which doesn't always mean that you're being productive. So let me start by asking you a question. What have you done today? Do you know? Can you drop it in the chat box? What have you done today? Okay. So what did you achieve yesterday? Can you remember? Do you take on a can-do spirit when you're challenged, or are you like, ugh, I'm not so sure I want to do that? Are you huddled up in a big comfy chair waiting for the blanket to go over you because you're deeply immersed in a movie, or you're playing a game on your electronic device and you really want to avoid humanity or doing something different? I'm asking these questions to you because how you make your way through an average day in terms of your productivity really determines your happiness factor. And that really does affect all up in here. So I want you these 3 hacks are really simple, really easy to start. So the first thing is to ponder. That's my first hack. Ponder. Ponder. I really should have dropped it in a banner below. Ponder. So here's what I mean by that. The first thing that you probably need to do is to reflect on your emotions after you've been super productive. You really need to know what you were doing. What was your environment like? What contributed ahead? What are you going to do after? How much time did you spend? Were you hungry? Were you full? You really need to document what you're doing. Check in with yourself on your emotions after you've done something productive. And also, I would say, if you don't already know, what do you do when you're not productive? When you just figured out you spent an hour scrolling through Facebook, or you've spent hours channel surfing, or you've been hanging out. What was going on with that? What were you doing? Were you hungry? Were you lonely before you did that? Think about the situations which makes you feel positive and content. And by doing that, when you ponder, you really do begin to understand what makes your brain go towards productivity space. So you may need more organizational skills, for example, because someone who is organized usually finds it easier to accomplish things. You know where the correct tool is. So if you want to leave besides leave your disorganization aside, then it may mean that you've got to spend some time and attention doing that. So to be productive may mean you need to be organized. If you're feeling disorganized and not productive, then I would say that's one way, but you won't know that until you ponder. Okay. So when you're actually in this space of pondering for your brain, it's really helpful if you make lists to know what was going on, etc. It is easy and quantifiable for your brain to look at those lists, and then it makes subtle shifts that you can make either in your calendar, a tool, a skill you might need, people you might need around you, etc. A to-do list also is a really quick reminder for your brain in that pondering space of what you hope to complete. And even if it's not in front of you all the time, I promise in the back of your brain, it is working on that. And I'm a big pen to paper person. So I do post-it notes. I've talked about this before. There are post-it notes everywhere all over my office. And so when I'm done with something, then I can cross it off and throw it in the trash, or whatever it is that you're doing. It's also something good for your brain. So that space of pondering is the first important hack, I would say, to really unlock your brain towards more happy spaces. Now, the next thing that I would say then is, now that you've pondered and you kind of know what's going on, then you need to establish a schedule and follow it. Your brain craves schedule. It craves understanding. It craves that kind of system in which it knows what to be and when. This is why sleep experts will tell you to try to go to sleep at the same time every night and try to wake up at the same time every day, because your brain gets into a pattern. Your brain loves pattern. So if you need to be creative all the time, that's fine, but you need to give your brain other things to do around that, and then tell your brain from 2 to 5 is my creative time, and whatever happens, happens. Do you see? Even in that moment, you're still being structured, and your brain likes that. So establish a pattern of knocking out a couple of items on your to do list, maybe. Follow whatever you've set. If you're a block scheduling person, you want to do that. Because if you want to be productive, You must schedule in time. And I would say time for work and time for play, time for rest. Those things are important. I also think it's important to block when you're eating your meals. That also is signals to your brain in these kind of unusual ways. Really, really important to note that. And then at the end of the day, I would say you've met your productivity goals, maybe have some playtime. Your brain needs that release and your confidence will rise because you'll get those happy hormones going on. You'll get those chemicals flowing. Your level of contentment will grow. And that is really important for your brain. That's restful space for your brain. So, for example, let's say you've wanted to clean out the garage for ages. You consistently come up with an excuse why you haven't done it. If you're following what this hack I'm telling you about, you will establish a day and a time you'll devote to garage cleaning, let's say Thursday from 9 a.m. to noon, then you're going to do it and then you're going to celebrate and play afterwards. Does that make sense? All of that pattern will help your brain. So the first hack was ponder, the second hack is scheduling. And now the third hack that I would say is rituals. So we are ritual creatures. I'm not talking about religious ritual, but humanity craves ritual and routine. This is different than schedule. We already talked about you need the schedule, but you do need to develop your own system, your downtime from your productivity time. So it could be something simple like putting on a watch when you want to get work done, or putting your tennis shoes by the door so that you'll go run in the morning. Doing nicer clothing when you want to be productive instead of sweatpants and a hoodie. So does that make sense? Like even your brain gets the signals like when you put on your slippers, you're like in chill out mode. So those subtle signals are actually telling your brain the kind of space and how much attention and what kind of emotions it needs to be feeling. So simple behaviors like this, rituals is what I call them, are powerful reminders that it's time to work and be productive or it's time to play and rest. And in that, and you kind of as you're creating and developing your own rituals, you do need to pay close attention on how you're speaking to yourself. So when you're completing a task and in productive mode, do you say something to yourself like, good job, way to go, oh my gosh, you rock? Or wow, you totally completed that quickly? Or do you spoil it? You know what I mean by spoiling it? You think like, oh my gosh, that took so long. Why did it take so long? Oh gosh, I can never do this in the time I'm supposed to. Do you see what's happening? You're feeding information into your brain at that point, and your brain is responding appropriately. It will send signals to the rest of your body to show up in that space. So what you say to yourself is powerful and it sets the tone for how you proceed. So if you've developed these rituals that say, in this time, I'm going to breathe and not say anything about myself. In this time, I'm going to celebrate all that I did today. In this time, I'm going to be in rest space. Your brain, that link starts to get at play and it starts to churn, and then you do amazing things. But your choice to start here with these three things. Do you remember what the three things are, right? So they're going to ponder, you're going to schedule, and you're going to ritualize yourself. And if you concentrate on these three things, you're going to begin to see a surprising link between productivity and happiness. And you're going to unlock that good sized brain, that beautiful brain that you have inside of yours to do something great. That's my helpful three hacks for you today. I will be showing up again tomorrow. I never know when I'm going to pop in. I'm Suzanne Castle. I am so excited to see you, and jump in with some comments and let me know what you're feeling or what you'd like some more information on, and I will be checking you soon. Take care.